I was on a walk early this morning and I was asking the Lord, but how do we go to a conference and we say that we are going there to die? He now reminded me what I shared with you. There are deaths that men who see the glory need to die. And one of the questions I asked you was, in the New Testament experience, if we want to characterize based on influence, based on radiance, will it be Stephen or who? Who will it be? Will it be Stephen? Who would it be? Peter, New Testament? It will be Paul. He was the shining one. And the assignment of the shining one in the day that the glory returned was to hold garments for those who stoned the one who re-downloaded the glory. So I said to him, could it be that now that the circle is complete, our assignment to be to stand aside and watch other men who did not labor as much, decorated in the glory that we labored, prayed and fasted to see restored? If we do not die, then we'll contend with what God wants to do. The death may not be natural death. It may just be that you will need to put self to the sword. That you will not wrestle with those that God has chosen to wear it in his brightest colors. That we may need to take a backside, and our only assignment may just be to mentor and see men who did not run the race begin to shine. So I told him, it's a dying place that you have arrived at. Because they may be in this meeting. Saul stood there. He had not made it right with his master, but a man opened a door from heaven and something descended and landed on him. 2 chapters after, he had his own encounter with the God of glory, and a journey of shining began. For Stephen, it was an encounter with the God of glory, and the cessation of his earthly existence came. What if he says we should stand aside? And I don't know why he has impressed this in my heart. Many have invested themselves in revival labors, and it's possible to begin to think that God owes you in the day that revival happens. We prayed, we fasted for these things, so we must be the ones that will bear it. The place of a servant is to be faithful in what God has called him to do, and to know how to stand aside in the day that it comes. One of those men that was announced in glory like that in the New Testament was John the Baptist, and that was the parable that God gave me. It would have been impossible, based on the construct of the advertisement of Jesus as the Christ, to know who the Messiah was if John did not rise. In the day of his rising, he gathered his own crowd. As a matter of fact, John emptied the temple, because the farther he went into the wilderness, the farther Jerusalem went out to meet him. Are you with me? It was like a new church in town. John. They left golden palaces and went in search of a man in the wilderness. When he arrived, he didn't have the beautiful clothes. He was in animal skin. Even his diet was not appealing. It was he who revealed, behold the Lamb of God that taketh away the sin of the world. But it also appeared as though in the day of the Annunciation was the day in which his light began to diminish. So much so that Jesus' greatness multiplied on the landscape, and when he languished in prison, the Bible said a day came when he sent men to Jesus. Are you the one to come? Oh, we should wait for another one. How can you be shining and then your forerunner languishes in prison? I felt Jesus would have said, so you are released. Jesus said, go and tell him, blessed is that man who is not offended in me. This day of glory will coincide with his increase and our decrease. And I came to announce that it will increase to the degree that we are willing to go down. I want us to pray. I think Rev should come. We will not wrestle with you. You will have your way in this day. We will not stand in your way. Is somebody crying out to God? We will not stand in your way. Let your will come to pass.